Alrighty, guys, welcome to another episode of I Never Met a Stranger I Didn't Like, and I am Philip Tubbs, and I have a great host here today, Mr. Jarrett Hurt. Most of you guys know him by Coach Hurt. How are you doing today, Coach Hurt?
I'm doing great. I appreciate you having me on today.
I appreciate you coming here. Let me come out here. I'm actually in your office here at the gymnasium, and we're going to get to know a little bit about you. People, they know you as the head football coach here at Claremore High School and as the assistant athletic director. But let's dig in a little bit deeper and let's get to know Coach Hurt a little bit. Let's see what kind of motivates him and day to day and kind of things like that, and just kind of get to know you. When I called you, you were like, "Hey, yeah, I'm cool. Like this, just do this as long as it's positive." And I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty intimidated about interviewing you because I will say you're a football coach. You're a teacher. I mean, that always, I don't care how old you get, that still always is intimidating when you're a football coach and a teacher. Like here at the school, you work at the school, all that kind of stuff, and you have a flat top. I mean,
this is all my hair will do. A lot of people think I've been in the military, but this is really all my hair will do. So this is why I wear it this way. Actually, my dad has a flat top too. His is just a little bit more gray than mine is.
It's just a little bit more gray there. So you just kept it going on in the generation.
Just kept it going on. That's right.
But as I started to talk to people and reach out to people, I'm like, hey, I got Coach Hurt coming on the show, and everybody was like, oh my gosh, he is an amazing man, an amazing coach. Those boys love him. The school loves him. They, even after they're gone, they still look up to him, and they still consider him a mentor. This is what I've heard from not just one place, and so then that kind of eased me a little bit, and I was like, all right, maybe he's not so rough and gruff that from what he looks like and things like that.
We try to do things the right way, and one of our big goals is to take a 7th grade boy and help him become a man in the right way.
Yeah.
And we just use the game of football to do that.
Yeah.
That's really what we want. We want to see a kid come through our program, and we definitely want him to leave our program better than when we found him.
Yeah.
And we just hope that he's a great citizen, a great employee, a great husband, a great father someday.
Yeah.
And that he can look back on his time at Claremore High School and our football program with fond memories.
Yeah. So, what kind of things do you think, do they get out of that? What kind of things are you guys instilling through the football program? Like you said, starting out seventh grade boys, let's starting them out. They've got to have that good role model, that good thing. What kind of things does football got to kind of pull out and show them?
I think all kids still like structure. I think all kids still like discipline. They like to know, what the boundaries are, what the rules are, what the consequences are. And I think they really respond to that.
Yeah.
A lot of people think they don't, but I think they kind of crave that. They want that. They want that structure in their life. And I think we provide that. We provide a friendly face. We provide a mentorship. Mm-hmm. We provide structure. We provide discipline. We provide that teamwork aspect that everybody has to have if you're going to go be a husband or a father
or even
or an employee.
Yeah.
So I think we offer kids a lot of things that they crave and a lot of things that they don't get at home anymore.
Yeah.
We love standing in the gap for kids.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of our kids may not have a male role model at home.
Yeah.
And so, it's really important to us to be that positive male role model and to do that the right way and to show them what that's supposed to look like in their life.
Yeah. Well, I think we kind of need that these days. It's kind of that discipline and that structure has kind of lost its way. And like you said, kids crave that. And as you're saying that, I'm thinking my kids crave that. They need structure. They need to know, that leadership, right from wrong. They look to us and go, is this right? Even just answering homework, things like that, they look to us and go, is that right? Even though they may know it's right, they still want that.
They want that positive reinforcement.
Yeah.
And I believe in positive reinforcement. A lot of people see the flat top and think you're a football coach and think you're rough and gruff and a yeller and a screamer and some kind of drill sergeant, but really that's not the case.
That's not the case.
I think that kids respond a whole lot more to the carrot than they do the stick.
Yeah.
And they want that pat on the back. They want that affirmation. They want that touch.
Yeah.
That's one of my goals every day is to touch every kid. And what I mean by that is to give every kid some attention, some time. One of the things we do is I shake every kid's hand when they walk into our football field house every day, and I greet every kid. A lot of people might think that's not the right thing to do coming out of COVID and that type of thing,
No.
but that's what we do.
No.
They're going to learn how to shake a hand.
Yeah.
They're going to learn how to look you in the eye.
Connections.
And I'm going to greet every kid every day and let that kid know that he's seen.
Yeah. And so what I was going to get to also is I heard, like Coach Hurt is there. He shows up. He is there at every game, even if it's not football. He's there. He's showing up every time he can. So definitely what you're saying is what everybody else is seeing. They see you step in and you see you do this. And I know you're very, very down to earth. I can tell that. Every time I try to give you that positive comment, you're like, no, it's not me. But really you have such a huge impact on these kids' lives that even if some of it you may not even see or realize it, but just talking to the people in the community and hearing what they have to say, you have such a huge impact.
Well, I believe that it's all about the ships. And what I mean is not championships. I think it's all about relationships. And those relationships last a lifetime. You know what? Recently we've been to weddings of kids. We've been to funerals of kids.
Yeah.
We've been to see their newborn babies. We've been, a while back, I had a player send me a picture, and it was of him and another player, and they're both in Tulsa Police Department uniforms.
Awesome.
And one had just helped mentor the other one through the police academy.
That's awesome.
And so I thought, how cool is that? We've got two zebras in Tulsa Police Department uniforms.
That's awesome.
And anyway, those kind of things right there are far more important to me.
That's what keeps you pushing.
Than those so-called championships.
Yeah,
there's lots of wins in our profession, and
Yeah.
they're not all on Friday night.
Yeah. Yeah.
Most of them aren't on Friday night.
Most of
the wins aren't on Friday night.
during
Most
the
of
week.
them are in some kind of relationship
Yeah.
that you see, 10, 20, 30 years down the road.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I've heard stories of you guys even showing up after they graduated. They're just having rough times, and you were one of them that showed up and said, "Hey, man, let's check out what we're doing here. Is this really where we're supposed to go?" And you helped him mentor, get him back on that right track. And that says a lot. Like reading over the questions I sent you and things like that, I could tell like you are a person that cares about this community. And I was like, I really need to talk to him. Because that's what this whole thing's about, is to get out there and get to these people that are changing our community, lifting it up, lifting those people, because these are the next generation of our business leaders, our city council members, our teachers. These people are next in line. And so I think, like you said, we've kind of lost some of that with schools and things like that. That connectivity, we've got overloaded rooms, things like that, and kids still need that connection, and it's harder to get that, and putting that time and that effort into it is a lot of work.
And we want our room overloaded. We want as many kids
You're like,
playing
"Get 'em in
football as
here."
possible. This past season, we had 85 players.
Whew.
That's the most since I've been here. That's
Really?
10th, 11th, and 12th graders. And I believe we had 49 ninth graders that were playing as well on the ninth grade team. So we think every kid needs something. I don't care if it's showing a hog in FFA, singing a solo in the choir, playing a trumpet in the band, being on the academic team. We just think every kid needs something. So we just want to be there for that kid that enjoys football.
Yeah.
Because we love it. We love football.
Yeah, you're like,
we think it's the greatest game ever invented, but we're biased. So, but we think so many kids can benefit from being on a team,
Yeah.
from being held accountable, from having to go through hard work, from having to learn how to win, learn how to lose, those types of things. And
I think we forget about learning how to lose sometimes, especially nowadays, like you said.
right, nobody likes losing. I don't want to lose. I want to win every game.
But sometimes,
But sometimes you've got to teach a kid the right way to handle a loss and how to bounce back from a loss.
Yeah.
Because in life we're all going to have adversity.
yeah,
You're either coming out of adversity, right in the thick of adversity, or about to enter into some adversity.
yeah,
And if we don't teach kids how to deal with that, then they're going to have a rough life. Everybody doesn't get a blue ribbon.
no,
It's
yeah.
just not how life is.
Yep.
So people do win and people do lose, and you've got to be able to handle both and do both the right way.
Yeah, I love it. So, to talk about Friday nights, last season, you guys had a killer season. I mean, you guys were what? It was 11-2-1. Is that correct?
We were 11-2.
11-2.
We in the regular season we were 9-1.
Yeah.
And then in the playoffs we were 2-1. We got to the state semifinals. In the modern era, The last semifinal team was in 1987 under Coach Benny Ballard, and then the time before that was in 1977 under Larry Coker.
Uh-huh.
And those guys are fine football coaches, both Hall of Fame coaches. Coach Coker, some people say, man, how come you can't win a state championship at Claremore? I said, well, Coach Coker found out that it was easier for him to win a national championship as the head coach of the Miami Hurricanes than it was to win a state championship in Claremore. But we did time. Our guys did time. We were 11-2. He was 11-2. We got beaten in the semis. They got beaten in the semis. To this date, no team in Claremore has ever made it to the finals. So we definitely have goals that are still out there. Mm-hmm. We have things that are still in front of us that we'd love to achieve. We'd love to have our kids achieve. And just going back to this past season, people ask me all the time, so what was the difference?
Yeah.
What made it such a great year? The kids. The players. The players made it a great year. A lot of people say, well, what was it about the players? Mm-hmm. And to be honest with you, we had spiritual leadership from our players that brought our team very close together. We had a great chemistry. Mm-hmm. We had a great bond. Our kids were unselfish. They played hard for each other. They didn't care who scored. They didn't care who made the tackle. They just wanted to do it together and do it in a great way. And it was so much fun to be a small part of that. They took us on a great ride. They took this community on a great ride. People
sure did
talk about the season, and I say, it was one of those kind of years that brought everybody together, mm-hmm. and it also brought out the best in everybody.
It showed everybody.
And man, just so proud of our guys, so proud of our kids, the leadership, and the hard work that they put in. It definitely paid off, and I think it made Claremore proud.
Oh yeah, definitely, most definitely. I definitely was keeping up with the school. Like every week, I'm like, all right, let's see what did Claremore do again? I'm like, man, they are on fire this year. They are just lighting it up. So what do we think this year? Are we gonna? Are we?
Everybody wants to know now about next year.
Yeah, next year.
Nobody wants to talk about this past year. Everybody wants to know, hey, how are we going to be next year?
We talked about the fired up. We got them all going. Like, how are we gonna bring that fired up energy? Because we've got a gap in there. Time from football season to football season. Time they start practicing. You got a gap in there. How are you going to keep that? I know we've lost some players. You gained some. How are we going to keep that fire going?
A lot of people think you have 4 seasons. Fall, winter, spring, and summer.
Not football.
But in the football world, you've got the preseason, the season, the postseason, and the off-season. Right now, we're in off-season. And that's the season we're in right now. So how are we going to do it again? We've got to build it all over again. We've got to put the pieces of the puzzle back together again. We lost a lot of senior leadership. Mm-hmm. A lot of great players on this class have graduated. But I believe that success breeds success. And I think that we're going to still see some effect from this past season carry forward into this next season. I think we're going to be a whole lot better than people think we're going to be. Our kids are working hard. The past 3 years we've done a book study, the old-fashioned book study where I read, they listen, we discuss.
Yep.
And right now we're reading a book called Training Camp. Mm-hmm. My book supplier is Lou Robertson. She used to be the principal at Westside Elementary. Yeah. And she's we also call her the thank you granny. She keeps our coaching staff supplied and treats and all kinds of sugar. But anyway, she believes in reading, and I really haven't been a big reader throughout my life, but she's turned me into one. So right now we're going through the book Training Camp, chapter by chapter, just on leadership. I think kids have got to be taught how to lead, mm-hmm. and they're just not natural at it sometimes. Yeah. So the past 3 off seasons, we've done a book study. So that's one of the things we're doing right now. Another thing we do is we call it Football 101. Kids don't watch football like we did growing up. Yeah. They've got phones. They've got video games. We had a ball, and we had channel 2, 6, and 8, and sometimes 23 if it worked just right, and we watched football on TV. Yeah. A lot of kids don't do that anymore. So we feel like in the offseason we've got to break the game down bit by bit, mm-hmm. piece by piece, and we call that Football 101. So we do that each day before offseason along with our book study, and we'll just take 5 minutes and we'll teach 5 minutes of football.
That's what you know.
what happens at the coin toss?
Mm-hmm.
What decisions can be made during the coin toss? How do you know if you're going to kick off, if you're going to receive, if you're going to defend a goal, if you're going to defer?
Yeah.
All those kinds of things. And we take it piece by piece. And we'll have a different coach present each day and try to teach the kids the game of football in the off season.
That's awesome. So really, off season's not off season. It's just a term that you guys are still going at it all year round. It's not just
it's become year round. It's become year round.
Full time.
You know, I believe the best off season for a kid is to go compete in another sport.
Mm-hmm.
When I was in high school, I didn't know what off season was. I just went from football to basketball to track and then repeat the cycle the next year. So we believe that nothing replaces the man in the arena and the competition in the arena.
Yeah.
So we want our kids doing other things. We want our kids going to basketball and wrestling and track and baseball and tennis and soccer and all those things that a kid can compete in.
Keeps that discipline going. Keeps that.
You bet. It keeps that competitive fire burning.
Yeah.
But if we have kids that don't compete in other sports, then that is our off-season group.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right. There is no off-season. It's become a year-round thing, and we want to make the most of every day, and we don't want to waste a day. We want to continue
Get it going.
to get better and to continue to build into our kids.
Because time is everything. Can't get it back, so take a little bit every day. You know, they say if you learn something for 8 to 10 minutes every day, you're going to be better than most people out there that do it because you've put that little bit.
Oh, absolutely. The other day when the calendar changed from January to February, you know, I reminded our guys, there's nothing we can do about January now.
Mm-hmm. It's gone.
Hopefully we did enough. Hopefully we did enough to earn the right to win in the fall. But now we're on to February, so let's make the most of February. Let's make every day count. Let's don't waste a day.
Yep.
So I let our kids know, hey, when you miss, you miss out.
Yep.
When you're not here, you miss out. So
it's not us. You're missing out on this.
Right. Their best ability is their availability.
Yes.
They've got to be there.
You got to show up. Awesome. I love it. So we got to know a little bit about like the football. You're the coach. Let's get to know a little bit about Jarrett. So how long have you been here at Claremore itself? Like how long have you been coaching? How long have you been here at Claremore?
This is my 16th year in Claremore. My first 8 years, I was the defensive coordinator under Coach Rob Gilbreth. He hired me, and I'm forever grateful for that. And in that last 8 years, I've been the head football coach. Before coming to Claremore, I spent 8 years at Skytook, 6 of those as the head football coach. And then before that, I was at Broken Arrow High School as an assistant football coach. My last year there at Broken Arrow, I was the defensive coordinator. And then before that, I was a graduate assistant at Missouri Southern, where I played in college. So I really got my coaching start there at Missouri Southern. My last year, actually, I'd had 3 shoulder surgeries on my right shoulder. And so actually as a senior, I was a student assistant. I was the running back coach as a senior in college. Kind of a strange setup, but it worked out. And then the next 2 years, I worked on my master's degree and finished up there as a graduate assistant, and then got on into high school coaching at Broken Arrow.
So, like growing up, was that something that you're like, when I grow up, I want to be a high school football coach. I want to be a football coach when I grow up. Like, is that something that you wanted, or was it something that came later on?
I grew up in a coaching family. My dad, Jarrett Hurt, who is in the Oklahoma Coaches Hall of Fame, he was a head coach for 29 years. And then my mother was a teacher. So they're both retired educators.
So you just grew up in it.
Well, we grew up poor. You know, we back then, teachers and coaches didn't make very much. So I remember going off to college thinking I was going to go be a rich businessman and make some money. And I was taking a lot of business classes, accounting, economics, those kinds of things. And shortly after getting to college, I figured out, hey, I want to go into coaching. So I turned that business degree into a business education degree.
There you go.
Where I'd be able to teach those classes in a high school, and got into coaching that way. So I love it. I love the profession. I love the camaraderie of coaches. My father-in-law was also a football coach, and my mother-in-law was also a teacher. So my wife's a teacher. My sister's a teacher.
It's in your guys' blood. Like, you guys are just.
It's what we do.
Like,
it's what we do. You bet.
You got that calling. Certain people have certain callings for certain things, and you guys, your family's just been
Yeah,
and you found a wife that has a family that does the same thing.
You
so
bet.
both
When I
have
was
that.
looking for a wife, I was definitely looking for a coach's wife. That's for sure.
It's a different type of wife
because it's a hard life, but it's a great life. And
It's-
you have to have the right kind of woman that can I guess survive and thrive
Yeah.
in that atmosphere. So
if like me, my wife is like she just keeps me going. If I get lost, like if it's not on my calendar, things like that, she's like my rock, my anchor. She's my like.
oh, absolutely.
You know what
My
I mean? So
wife.
you got to have that good setup, especially being football coach. You have to. You're gone practices during the summer. Nights.
It's a lot of time away from home. A lot of time away from your own kids.
Yeah.
And spending time with other people's kids. And luckily, we were able to incorporate our whole family into the profession.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, my wife's a teacher. She's only missed one game in my career.
Really?
So I sure appreciate her for that. And that was to spend some time with our oldest daughter at a walk-around homecoming at OSU.
Oh,
So
you're like, okay, I can.
So you bet.
Yeah.
Our oldest daughter, Jayla, she was a cheerleader. She was down there on the sideline with us. And then our youngest daughter, Jerica, she was our ball girl for 7 years.
So do they go to Claremore as well?
Yes.
They graduate from Are they both graduated now?
Yes. They're both graduates of Claremore High School.
Yeah, there you
Jayla's a senior at OSU, and Jerica's a sophomore at Rogers State.
At Rogers State, right up on the hill. So they didn't go too far either. It's still ours, not too far either. So awesome. So how long have you and your wife been together? Like you said, she's your rock. She's there. She showed. Like, how long have you guys been together? Like, where'd you guys meet? Like, give us a little bit of.
She was teaching in Tulsa Public Schools, and I was teaching and coaching in Broken Arrow. We were 25. We met, and I remembered her from the coaching clinic growing up when our families would attend the summer coaching clinic in Tulsa.
Uh-huh.
And that's where we knew each other from a long time ago. And then we just happened to run into each other in Tulsa. And we dated a couple months, got engaged, and were married 3 months after that. So start to finish, about 5 months. And I remember telling her, hey, we can get married before football season or after football season, but we cannot get married during football season. And I knew right away she was going to be a great coach's wife because she said, I'll take before football season.
You're like.
So we got married June 7th, 1997. I think if my math is correct, that'll be 27 years this summer. So.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. So 5 months and then 27 years.
Shoot, we're at their altar.
How do you do it?
We're at their altar. We really didn't even know who each other was, to be honest with you.
It was just kind of.
But God's had His hand on us, had His hand in our marriage, and it's been great.
He knew. Sometimes we don't have control over those things. It's
Oh,
just
absolutely.
Like, this is the way it's supposed to go, and you just kind of got to roll with it until you go. Oh, yeah.
When you know, you know.
Yeah.
We knew. So there you go.
You were like, oh, I love her. There's it. Awesome. I love it. So, got the family, 2 kids. You really grew up. In the football, like with your dad being the coach and things like that. Were you like involved with the team? Like, were you like out there a lot, or was it just kind of like?
Oh, I was that little
mom?
kid that was, the water boy.
You were out there in the field,
and then helping keeping stats, and then eventually playing for Dad. And so, I was around it my whole life growing up. It's a great way to grow up as a kid. The field house was your,
and like you said,
was your playground, or the gym, the field house, the field, whatever. And anyway, it was awesome way to grow up.
You just had a family constantly growing up.
I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Football players, everything. That's awesome. I love it. So, Claremore, do you guys what do you guys like to do here around the area? Like, what's your guys' favorite thing about Rogers County, Claremore area? Like, is there something in particular?
Claremore's kind of like Mayberry. It's just a great place to live.
Yeah.
Great place to raise your kids. We are connected with our church, First Baptist Church. We're members of First Baptist Church here in Claremore. We teach a small group to couples, so we spend a lot of time with those folks, and we just really enjoy being there every Sunday with our small group, and then with our church service. So highly involved there, and then our world kind of revolves around sports. To be honest with you,
it's all
being assistant athletic director.
Yeah.
Once football's over, then we're going to high school, junior high wrestling matches, basketball games. Then we roll into the spring and go to baseball games and soccer games, tennis matches, track meets, all those kinds of things. So anyway, we're kind of a sports family, to be honest with
So
you.
you just, if it's outside of it, you're still going sports.
Oh, absolutely,
You're still
absolutely.
going, all that.
Either watching it on TV or attending some kind of sporting event.
Love it, love it. So that it really is like your guys's. It's a huge pillar of your guys' family. That
Oh,
sports
absolutely.
is
It's
just
what
a
we do. It's absolutely
like, are your
what we do.
like your girls, like, are they like really into football and stuff like that?
Oh
too?
yeah, our
Or
girls
they-
are into football. We're OU fans.
OU fans. That's
Even
right.
my daughter at
I'm
OSU,
Yeah.
she's still an OU fan at heart. But
Yeah. That's my brother-in-law. He went to OSU Medical to be a doctor, and he's still an OU fan. So it's every time he has an OSU shirt on or something like that, I still have to give him a hard time, even though he's an alumni. I'm like, Boomer Center.
That's
He's
right.
like, I know.
yeah, we enjoy watching football on TV. We took our girls to their first bowl game this year. We went down to San Antonio and watched the
Oh, yeah?
Sooners. So we had a good time doing that.
Oh, yeah, I bet that was a lot of fun. Awesome. So you talk. It's a year. This is year round. You're always going football, family, all of that. Like even being in a director's position, things like you're busy. Like it can be stressful. You're dealing with kids. I mean, that right there today is hard enough in itself. You know, what motivates you to keep on going? Like, what motivates you to wake up every day and just keep going? Because that could really wear somebody out. Really, you're doing a lot. You're putting a lot out there. You're putting a lot. How do you replenish yourself? How do you keep on going? Like, what motivates you?
You know, I like being busy. So I love this hectic pace.
Mm-hmm.
It is very busy. It is very stressful. But I think just the thing that keeps me going is the kids.
The kids.
Each year you've got a new group of kids, and no team's the same.
Mm-hmm.
You know, once that final game's over, that team will never be the same again.
Yeah.
And then you look forward to the next group of kids coming in. You know, that next group of seventh graders that enters your program.
Yeah.
It's motivating. It's refreshing. It keeps you going. You want to see if you can do it all over again or do it better than you did the year before.
Yeah.
So it's something there's always a mountain to climb. There's always that next mountaintop to see if you can eclipse it. So it's an ongoing thing. It never stops.
It's just that drive that you just keeps on going.
And you've got to bring the juice.
Yeah.
If you're the head of the program, you got to bring the juice every day. You got to set the tone. You got to set the culture. One thing that we're big on is our culture.
Uh-huh.
You know, we want to have the right culture that parents want their kid to be a part of.
Definitely.
And that kids want to be a part of. And so I think that culture drives what we do. It's not the X's and the O's. It's about the Jimmies and the Joes.
Yeah.
And we want to provide the right culture for those kids.
Love
And
it.
we want to treat, from the studs to the duds, we want them all treated well.
Yeah.
We're going to treat them like our sons. We're going to treat them like our sons. We'd want our sons to be treated. You know, and that's how we interact with them, what we talk about, how we talk, words we use,
Yeah.
all those kinds of things. We want those kids to maybe see something in us that might be different than what they see every day, and to just have a role model to look up to.
Somebody that goes, yeah, that person right there really had that impact on my life. So that's the kids, you said overwhelm, like just the crazy going over like all the time. And we kind of joked before. I said I'm ADHD. You're like, yeah, undiagnosed ADHD. That's kind of, ADHD people. We are good under that manic, like, let's go.
I'm sure I've got lots of
You probably got
issues.
that
I'm
going.
sure my kids and wife let me know that I've got lots of things probably wrong with me because I like the hectic pace. It's hard for me to slow down.
Yeah.
Even on vacation. If we go on a week-long vacation, it takes me about 2 days to slow down, and then about 2 days before the vacation's over, I'm already thinking about what do I got to do when I get back again and what needs to get done. So my sweet spot in a vacation is about the middle 2 days, somewhere in there.
You finally get that relaxing.
That's right.
All right, I could chill out. Don't have to look at my phone. Nobody's calling.
I don't have hobbies. That's one thing that's wrong with me. I don't have hobbies. So
Your hobby
I drive my
is-
wife crazy, like on weekends or when we have a little downtime, because I'm always wanting to go and
Let's go do something. Let's do this.
check
Go
things
to
off the
house.
list. How much can we get done today? Let's get some honeydews done.
Yep.
And so I don't know if she's ever going to let me retire because I'll probably drive her crazy.
She's like, I can't handle that. I can't have you home all the time. Right there. So you retire, but you're gonna have to go do something.
I'm gonna have something
you're gonna
to
have
do.
something
You bet.
You're gonna have to figure. You're gonna have to.
And
find
I'm a long
hobby.
way from retirement. I love what I do.
You're like, I'm not retired for a while. Huh?
You bet.
You're like,
The
I'm
kind of
sick
season we had this year just keeps you coming back for
You're like,
more.
I gotta
It just
have
keeps
more.
you coming back for more. So
That's-
I'm really looking forward to see what we can do this next season.
So, in Claremore tradition, we have trains, right? We get stopped by trains all the time. So, we're going to do a little thing here called the train track crossing. We're going to stop. I got a bunch of easy little questions. We're going to shoot them off at you, answer them. We're going to go quick, just kind of get it. We get stuck at trains. We get to talk to each other, listen to some music, jam out. That's how it goes here. So, we're going to stop. We're going to dig in, give some easy questions here. Ready? So, here we go. Coffee or tea?
Sweet tea.
Sweet tea.
I've never had a cup of coffee.
You've never had a cup of coffee?
I'm one of
What?
those weird people that I don't even like the smell of coffee.
What?
I've never had a cup
I
of coffee.
almost called you earlier too to say, hey, you want me to bring you a cup of coffee? I'm glad I didn't.
This will probably gross some people out, but one of the things I do in the morning is I take the Sunny D jug and I count to 10 swigs, and then I'm done. So there you go.
You're getting your vitamins right there.
That's where I get my energy and juice from every morning, right there. 10 swigs of Sunny D.
Totally went off the fast questions, but I love it. Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Dogs. Beach or mountains?
Beach.
Morning person or night owl?
Morning. I like getting up and getting going in the morning.
Yeah, I'll say it away. Pizza or burgers?
Both.
Both. You're like, I just put them together. Books or movies?
Movies.
Yeah, you said you were really much of a book person earlier. I'm right there with you. Android or iPhone?
Android.
Android. Really? Yeah.
Drives my family crazy. They're all on the iPhone, but
You're
I don't
good
like
text on-
change.
you're all a good
I'm one of those
texter.
guys. I'm stuck in time. People say my clothes are from the 80s. My haircut's from the 50s. I've been driving the same truck for 20-some years. I'm keeping my Android.
You're like, I like it. Summer or winter?
Summer. I'd rather have it 100 degrees and 32 degrees any day.
See, I used to be the opposite, but now that I'm getting older, I'm like, I'd rather just sweat. I don't like the cold anymore. I'm right there with you. Sweet or savory?
Sweet.
Sweet. Fiction or nonfiction?
Nonfiction.
Nonfiction. Favorite childhood cartoon?
Wow, probably Bugs Bunny.
Bugs Bunny. It's a good one. Introvert or extrovert?
A lot of people think I'm an extrovert, but really I've got a lot of introvert in me, to be honest with you.
A little bit of mixture. See, I think you probably are a little bit ADHD. You got that. It's kind of a mixture of that. Comedy or dramas?
Comedy. I like to laugh.
I like to laugh. Favorite superhero?
Probably Superman.
Superman. City life or countryside?
Country life. We've
That's
got a few
nice.
cattle up at my parents' place.
Yeah.
And horses, cattle, chickens, goats.
People think that me and my wife are weird, but we love the smell of like the farm, like that cow manure, the horse, like that smell, the hay, that dirty smell. Like
We haul hay every summer with my dad. I'm talking about square bales, not round bales. I'm talking about
Throwing 'em up
bucking
on
a
them.
bale. Usually
Yeah.
take a couple of football players up there to help us out.
I've done that growing up in Chelsea. You're throwing them bales up there on that trailer as that tractor's pulling it back behind you.
You
Oh,
bet.
yeah.
I can load all day, but that unloading in the barn, that's the real work.
Oh, that's whenever it gets, people don't, you can be out in the sun, but at least you got a breeze. You get in that barn, it's no air, it's dead. You get up in that top and you start throwing up, you're just drenched.
That's
It's
right.
like getting in an
Underneath
attic.
that tin roof's pretty hot.
Yep. So, music or podcast?
Music.
I'm the same way, and I do a podcast. Early bird or snooze button? So you're like getting right up, or you're hitting that snooze button a couple times?
I don't know if I've ever hit snooze in my entire life.
You're like, I'm
Early bird.
Early bird. I'm right. Let's go. I most of the time beat my alarm clock. My brain like automatically wakes up. I'm right there. So, favorite vacation destination?
Probably a bowl game, a Super Bowl, something like that.
Something like
That's
that.
probably my favorite.
There
It'd
we
be
go.
my favorite.
You guys went to a bowl game last year, so yeah, pretty good, huh? Yeah. If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
Sometimes I think I want to be able to see the future because I'm always looking ahead,
Yeah.
but that's kind of scary
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's catch-22 on that one. It can be scary because some things we don't want to know. And I'm going to ask you. This is you're older, so you're going to get this question too, probably. So, Friends, were Ross and Rachel on a break?
You know what? My family watches Friends religiously. Even my daughters
Yes,
know all the
I was
episodes.
hoping so.
But I haven't watched a whole lot of Friends, so
What?
I have no idea
Oh
to
my
answer that
goodness.
question.
Oh, your kids are going to be, your girls are going to be so disappointed, aren't they?
They're going to be
Your
very
wife,
disappointed
they're
in
gonna
that
be
answer,
disappointed.
yes.
I will tell you mine. They were on a break. That's all I say.
All right, on a break.
On
There you go.
yeah.
Let's go with it.
So, all right, that's the questions. The train's passed. We got a little bit of information, had a little bit of fun with that. Awesome. So we'll get back to the question. Get back to you. What are some kind of things that like? Is there any special like programs out there or organizations that you really like have a burning desire for? Like you just like, hey, we love this. We love what they do. Like. Is there something you guys like get involved in?
I've got a Down syndrome cousin, Drew, who's 4 years younger than I am. And Drew and I are really tight. And so the Special Olympics have a special place in my heart.
Yes.
Several years ago, our team would volunteer at the local Special Olympics track meet that was held here in Claremore, but it hasn't been held here for several years.
Yeah.
But I always enjoyed being a part of that and seeing our guys work with kids that might not have it as good as our guys had. I think you go into it think you're going to be a big blessing, but it ends up blessing you.
Yeah, that's what people don't realize. It's like you said, the Down syndrome. There's no love from a Down syndrome.
Absolutely, absolutely.
They have this down. They I don't know. My
full of
family
love.
is in
Full of love. They don't have bad days.
Yeah, they don't have. They're happy all the time.
My
You're
cousin
like,
Drew.
Man,
my cousin
love
Drew
it.
is he's just kind of the just a breath of fresh air for our family.
Right, just kind of brings you up.
We all love him.
People don't realize my daughter is autistic, and so we kind of we deal with things like that in our home. We have our ups and downs and the struggles with that, and so Special Olympics, that kind of thing that has a spot in our heart as well.
Absolutely, and everybody's got something. We tell our kids, our players, everybody's got something. I've got struggles. I've got issues.
Yeah.
Everybody has something they're going through, but we got to try to help each other overcome those struggles and those obstacles.
Yeah.
And we feel like that's something else that we can do for our guys is help them know, hey, we struggle too. We're real people.
We're real people.
Our lives aren't perfect.
Yeah.
It just hadn't been hunky dory, and we're not always pedaling that bike downhill with the sun at our back. There's a lot of times you got to pedal uphill.
Yeah.
So anyway, you bet. And I think this too. Whenever I get a chance to speak to people or speak to groups, I like talking about your platform. Everybody has a platform. Everybody. You got a platform. I got a platform. Everybody has a platform.
That's right.
Everybody has a sphere of influence. And I just want to challenge people, what are you doing with that platform? What are you doing with your sphere of influence? Are you using it for good?
Yeah.
Are you using it to help people? Are you building people up or tearing people down?
Yeah.
And I just think that everybody needs to take a close look at their platform.
Yeah.
Because you have one.
Yeah.
And how are you using it? I just think that's something that we can all take a closer look at.
Definitely. That kind of aspect of behind this podcast is we get out there and do that. We have a platform. Claremore has a platform. Rogers County has a platform. We have a great area. We need to let's put it up on a platform and show everybody. Let's show these people that like I said, it's like a little town that has that big love feeling. You know what I mean? We have what we need here. We've got good people, and building that platform up and showing what we can do. And I think if Claremore all came together, each person has that platform, and it's going to raise up together and become one big stage.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And like you were saying, God puts each person, He gives us each these abilities and these gifts that we have, and we get put together to make that big
and I believe
Every
this.
person's-
We're going to be held accountable.
Yes.
We're going to be held accountable someday for what we did with our platform, what we did with our sphere of influence. So that's how I believe. I know everybody doesn't believe that way,
Yeah,
but that's definitely how I believe.
Yeah, and I can definitely see that in your just your energy, the way you talk, that you're like, hey, I want to be that positive energy. I just get it from you. Like even out there when I first started talking, like I said, I was even intimidated, and I really do get that from you. So, what are some ways that people can kind of get more involved in like Claremore High School, the football, the sports, and things like that? Like, what do you think? What can they do? Like, how can they get more involved? Like, where can they?
We have a quarterback club run by Rusty and Reagan Robertson, and they do a phenomenal job. And they volunteer. They don't get paid for it, and they raise a lot of money for our program. They're the fundraising arm of our program, and we really can't do it without them the way we want to.
Yeah.
We can't give our kids the experience in Claremore High School football and even Claremore Junior High football. We can't give them that experience that we want to give them without the support of our quarterback club. So I would encourage anybody that wants to be a part of our program to get involved, to join the quarterback club, to get involved in the quarterback club. And you can call Rusty Robertson. He's not hard to find.
Look up. I'm sure you can find him
grew up
somewhere
here in Claremore.
Yeah.
Mom's Lou Robertson. Thank you, Granny. The lady I was talking about earlier. And get involved. You don't even have to have a kid in football.
Even just show up.
Yeah, just show up. Show up, get
cheer
involved.
Them up. Cheer on those boys, right?
Volunteer some.
Yeah.
Help in a CYFA concession stand. Help our quarter club out because they do it for the right reasons. They don't have an agenda. And they're here for all the kids. All the kids in our program is who they serve. And they serve in a great way. So I would encourage anybody that wants to be a part of the program. How can I get involved? Join the quarterback club.
Join the quarterback club. Love it. So we need the community to help. I mean, these kids that, yes, we get money and things like that from the state, but it's not enough. We need that support for you guys. So
the helmets that we use, one helmet costs $450.
Ooh.
That's the helmet we use. Our a game uniform, the jersey, costs over $100.
Golly.
The pants cost about $50 or $60. So it's very expensive sport, cheap. And our quarterback club comes alongside and lends a huge helping hand to our program, to our kids, and it's just a great organization.
So if anybody's looking to reach out, get help, get involved, reach out to the quarterback club.
Absolutely.
Get on there, get involved. Like if that's one way you're going to do it, go that route.
Absolutely.
And if you can't, go volunteer. Go hang out.
They're wonderful people. They got a huge heart for kids, and we certainly appreciate them.
Awesome. Well, we're going to go ahead and start wrapping up. We got to know a lot about you. We got to really get to dig into the football program, get to see kind of behind the scenes a little bit, and realize Coach Hurt's not so scary. He's out here. He's ready. He wants to help. He's putting himself out there to be a good mentor to these kids, and I think that's great. I'm glad that I got to meet you and get to talk to you because
absolutely. I appreciate the opportunity to be on the show today and to showcase our program, showcase our kids, and showcase Claremore High School.
Yes, I thank you so much for your time. I know you're extremely busy, and again, time is you can't get it back. We can get money, we can do that. We can't get our time back. So you giving your time to do what you do, to even sit here and talk to me for an hour and give me that time, I appreciate it. I know you're going to say it, but it's not me, but you are a huge part of our community. You do so much. You do so much for us, for the kids, for our future. You don't realize it, but you're doing it for our future, and I thank you for that. And I know there's not just me. There's a lot of people that are going to be listening, watching this. They're going, yeah, Coach Hurt, thank you because you were an impact on my family.
Hey, it's my pleasure to do what I do. It takes everybody, though. It takes everybody doing their little bitty part in this world to make Claremore and Rogers County what it is. So
awesome. Thanks
a lot for having me on.
Yes, thank you so much, guys. Go out to the games starting this fall, the football night, Fridays. We've got basketball, we got baseball. Baseball just is starting. We got going. So we got some teams, so come out and see them.
You bet. We're wrapping up our winter sports, getting ready to head into our spring sports. But then, folks, hey, those Friday night lights are coming. There's nothing like Friday night
Two-a-days
lights.
are coming. They got summer sweating going. Awesome. Well, I'm gonna follow up with you back when we get to the fall, so we can start kind of get some hype up and get some people out there. Maybe we can get something going again at that time. But guys, thank you so much for listening. Coach Hurt, again, thank you so much. And guys, go join the quarterback club.
That's right. Go
All right.
Zebras.
Thank you guys again for listening. This is I Never Met a Stranger. I Never